Alright, you guys, thank you for clicking on the video today. Today's the day that we are going to get the Subaru up and running, hopefully. I'm kind of nervous. I'm pretty sure I did everything right, so it should all go flawlessly. But that doesn't make me not nervous. So I already checked the oil, made sure that was good. I kind of did a once over as I was doing things. I double checked everything, so everything should be tight and not leak. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the coils so right now I'm going to disconnect the coils so that the engine doesn't spark, so it doesn't fire, so I can crank it, prime the oil pump, get some oil pressure going, and then I'll plug them back in and then get the thing going. But I'm going to prime the fuel system. I think I'm going to do the fuel system first, prime that, and then I need to flash the new tune, the base tune, onto the ECU. Then prime the oil pump, and then plug everything back in, get it ready to start, and then it should be ready to go. I put 4.5 gallons of new gas in there, so hopefully that mixed in with the old gas and made it newer gas, because there's only like a little bit left in there, so it should be fine. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to pressurize the fuel system, see if it leaks.
Is it going to spray me?
Huh?
Is it going to spray all over? I'm going to stand back, just in case. And then if I don't see nothing, I'll go in closer.
Nothing?
She's tight.
No leaks? Oh, God damn. I keep running into things. It's at 20 right now. Nope, it's not a 5. It's a 4. Nope, it's not a 4 either. 4.5.
Figures.
Does turning it in get more oil pressure?
Okay, you're up at 40 now.
I'm up to 40?
38-ish. Okay. What do you want?
43.
Okay. All right, that looks about, yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, probably good. Alright, so right now I got the computer booting up. I have the VAGCOM cable plugged in. So I'm going to flash the tune I made real quick. I'll show you kind of what I did to it to, you know, make a good base file. This is the new file I got. So basically what I did to it was, you can see these are all the different maps on the side right here. So I changed my wastegate duty cycle, set the table to all zeros so it runs off wastegate pressure. I did that on both of these tables and the max table as well. For the fueling, I came across and set the high load areas 1.4 grams per second and up to 11 across the board. So it's a good rich mixture, so I know that there's going to be no knock in those areas if I do get into those areas, but I probably won't at this point. I changed the injector scaling and latency to the new injectors that I got. They give you those numbers on the website, but I just changed those numbers so that it should fire up right away. Throttle tip-in enrichment, I altered these because when you get bigger injectors, you like take the old injector size, divide it by the new injector size, and then you multiply your additional injector pulse width values by that number you get, and that should get your throttle tip-in enrichment in the ballpark. MAP calibration I can't do yet. Timing I left alone because the timing graph was pretty conservative and it looked good, so I don't think it'll knock, but I'm just going to keep an eye on the knock anyways. If it does, I'll pull some timing out, but with how rich it is, I don't think it will knock. And then I also disabled a few codes that were related to the TGV deletes, as well as EGT I pulled out, and the O2 sensor, because there's no cats in it anymore, so I might throw a code as far as O2 sensors go. But that's about what I did to this map. Good base map just to, you know, cruise around on and hopefully keep things safe. So I'm gonna get this flashed on, and then I will be back when that's done. Okay, so if you look down here, there's these two green connectors. These are your test connectors. You plug these in order to flash and read the ECU. And then once you're done doing that, you unplug them. But that's just what you have to do. Alright, so the spark plugs are unplugged. Now to keep the gas from going in, I'm just going to floor the gas pedal and hold it there, and that's going to keep the injectors from putting fuel into the cylinders. And then of course clutch in and then crank it until we get oil pressure up on this gauge right here. So turn the car on, clutch in, gas pedal floored. It didn't crank at all. Think the battery's low? It didn't even sound like the starter was going. Let me try again. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so I figured out why it wasn't cranking. I forgot to connect a little connector on the starter. So I just did a quick crank, but we're gonna do the actual oil pressure crank. So I got the spark plugs disconnected. I'm gonna floor the gas so no fuel goes in. Okay, clutch in, gas floored. Okay, no oil pressure yet. You see any leaks?
A little bit of oil, that's no big deal.
Okay, let's try it again. Nothing yet. Yeah, still no oil pressure. Okay, so I'm having a little trouble getting the oil pressure to prime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the oil filter off and then put a pan underneath it so that when oil starts to come out, then I'll put the filter back on and then it should prime faster. The idea behind that is that the oil pump is trying to pull oil from the pan and then pump it into the filter through that galley. But if you have the oil filter on and it has oil in it, it creates an air pocket between the filter and the pump, and then the pump needs to spin fast enough to create enough pressure to push that air pocket out. But at this point it's just compressing that air pocket and not actually getting oil to flow through. So I need to remove the filter so that it can freely push the oil through, then reinstall the filter, and it should be good to go.
I can see the pan. I can see if anything goes in it.
Okay.
There's a rag up in there. Is that supposed to be there?
Yeah, I just put that there so I don't get stuff on my exhaust.
Yep.
Stuff come out?
Yep.
A lot?
Yep.
Alright, here we go. Nothing yet. There we go. I got some oil pressure. I'm gonna do it one more time, see if I can get a little bit more. But the light went away for a second. There we go. You see the light went away? And then, yeah, we got oil pressure. Sweet. Okay, that's good. So here's the moment of truth. We're gonna fire it up. Please God, don't ask for much. Let this work. Alright, so cam braking is done. Everything is looking good so far. It did have a problem idling, which I think is just the injector scaling, so I could probably figure out how to tweak that just a little bit and get that sorted. But right now I'm just draining the oil out. There's the valve in action. Zoom you in. Dead cinchy. Perfect for changing oil. So draining the oil out from the break-in, cleaning out the engine kind of. Then I'm going to add more oil in, and then I'm going to take a look at the log that I did, see if I could see anything up with the injector scaling, and then fix that. And then we got to go do the 50-mile low load vacuum run break-in, which if you don't know what that is, it's like you slowly accelerate to speed and then you let off and let the vacuum engine brake, and then you do it again and again and again, and that's supposed to seat the rings to the cylinders. Alright, so this is what the oil looks like. It's kind of got a greenish tinge, and I think that's because of the assembly lube. But doesn't look like there's maybe fine metal particles, but nothing too crazy. We'll see what's at the bottom of the pan when I drain it, but this oil change is kind of just to clean it out. Alright, so I got 50 miles on the car, so now it's time to do the second oil change. Everything went good. The clutch is a little bit hard to get used to, but that's okay. Air-fuel ratio relations need to be fixed a little bit, but I just wanted to get that 50 miles in, do the oil change, and then at this point I know that the rings are seated. I can start tuning at steady state, like 2,000 RPMs, getting the fuel trims right, and then do my 500-mile braking period for the clutch, and then I can start tuning for power. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the oil change right now. So the oil's still really hot, but it's super easy to do these changes with this valve. You see that I just opened it up. Didn't get any oil anywhere. I can drain the oil when it's hot so it all comes out. I just have to put gloves on, but it's super easy. It comes out in a nice stream. Valve was 20 bucks, totally worth it in my opinion. Looking pretty good to me. There's just a little bit of what look to be paint flakes from the camshafts. They are painted blue and yellow in some spots to indicate which side they are for. But other than that, I don't see any real metal or anything in there. So it's looking like we got a healthy motor, which is a good sign. Alright, so I apologize for background noise. There's some kids playing in the neighborhood, but I'm gonna cut this filter open. Or try to cut this filter open. I've never cut a filter open before, but and take a look at the filter media, see if there's any shavings in there. So there's special cutters for this kind of stuff, but I'm just going to use tin snips because I heard this works as well. So let's see, let's pop this O-ring out. Okay, O-rings off. Once you get it started, it's easier. Just kind of nibble away at the edge. Alright, so the oil coming out of it now seems to be pretty clean. Just like the oil a little bit of metal flake in there. You can see. There's hardly anything, but it's a little bit shiny. And that's probably just from the piston rings bedding in, which is normal. Nothing crazy big in there. Okay, so if we look through the actual filter material, I don't see any chunks at all. I can't see anything in the actual filter. Just what came out of the center is all the metal I've seen. No chunks in here. Let me give you a close-up look. And if I spread some open, it's hard to see, but there's no chunks in anything. I don't even see really any metal flakes in the filter. So I think the engine's good. I think I put it together right. I think it's gonna have a long, healthy life. Yeah, this is very good, I think. Alright, so you could see there's ever so slight little bit of glitter looking stuff in here, but overall it's pretty clean. And yeah, like I said, that's probably just something from the rings. You don't want to see copper or large chunks in here. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Some of that stuff's probably from the camshafts too. And you can see those little curly cues right there. Let's see. In the bottom, I think those are probably from when I got the headwork done, when they were stuck in some recess or something, so those came out. That's good. That's kind of why you want to do your first oil change. So this is the filter from the first oil change, or this is the first filter on the car. So you want to do your oil change the first 20 minutes of operating. I had to do the cam brake in, but it's a good idea to do your 20-minute oil change because it'll get out stuff like that out of your engine that they didn't get out when they were cleaning it. But yeah, it'll clean that up and get that stuff out. Yeah, it's just good to just clean out the engine, get that first oil change done pretty soon. Get all the big chunks out that can cause damage. Alright, so I didn't film the break-in driving for the first 50 miles because it wasn't too interesting, and I also was like trying to super focus on the AFRs and make sure everything was okay and nothing was going wrong with the engine. So I will be filming the tuning process a little bit. It's kind of complicated and it'll be hard to explain in a video that I'm trying to keep times low. So I'll do the best I can to explain what I'm doing, but again, I'm going to try to mostly focus on what I'm doing instead of focusing on filming. So they may not be the best videos, but I'll do my best at making them watchable. So I hope you enjoyed the video. With the Subaru being back, I am stoked that it's running again. Still a little nervous just getting it dialed in and stuff, but other than that, I'm really happy that it's finally done. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.